Hello, Professor Chappell. J.C. Harmon giving you this video here on how to access those materials. So what you're going to want to do is go into, I'll just show you this real quick. I'm going to go to login.cengage.com. That's going to bring me to this page here where you're going to type in GC or gchappell at vsu.edu. And your password is going to be a capital P A S S O W O R D 1 or password 1. So gchappell vsu.edu and password 1 is going to be your password. Once you get in, you'll see I have the Miller and Spoolman text loaded in here. You'll see my course, which will have your MindTap courses. I'm going to create one for you right now to just let you go in and look at it. Then you have your test bank, a global environmental watch, and then your instructor site. So I'm going to go through those very quickly. But to create a course in MindTap, I'm going to hit Create Course, create a new course, Continue. I'm just going to name this gchappell Demo. Just going to pick some arbitrary start dates, but obviously you want to pick the ones that match your students, which will be May 24th, I think it is. Eastern time zone, and then also when you're setting up the one for your course, you want to make sure you get your sections and your date. And then if you want to add anybody else in here, you can. Hit Create Course, and then that'll give you information about the course. Number 1 is where I can get into the actual MindTap. And then it has your course. So I'm just going to hit some highlights of the course. 3 views it gives you. Number 1 would be your week view. So if I had any assignments due for the students in my particular course, it would show up here. The second view is your actual outline of your chapters. So you see chapter 1, 2 through 8, 9 through 11, 12 through 16, 17, and so forth. And then any supplements. The supplement being measured units, reading graphs and maps, environmental history. So these are some good supplementary materials. So if I just click into any one of these, this would be chapter 2 through 8. So in chapter 2, here's what's already out of the box preloaded for you. So I have a checklist of reviewing objectives for the chapter, a pre-learning assessment, which right now is set to practice, but you could have that count, a video on intelligent experiments, the actual readings, and then these Apply assignments are your homework assignments for the actual chapter. So if I click into my Apply, you can preview those. And Apply is a very unique program in that it tries to really force students into applications and going past rote memorization. So it will help them move through Bloom's taxonomy. I'm just going to answer a couple here and show you this. And the great thing about Apply is it gives you immediate feedback. So students can come in here and see an explanation of why that was wrong. Then they can try another version and it'll reset it. And right now I have it set for 3 attempts, with partial credit already being 3 out of 7. So that's an example of the homework. The readings are delved up by their chapters, or sections, excuse me, I should say. It's a pretty powerful reading ebook. You can also edit that and add in content, change the font. Or if a student just simply wanted to open up the entire book, this app over here to the right gives you a full cover-to-cover book. If I want to edit any of these areas, all I have to click on is our pencil. If there's something that you wanted to hide, for instance, if you didn't want to assign section 2.4, you can always hide that and the students won't see it. Another great option for MindTap is this addition button, where I can add an activity into this learning path. So if there's an RSS feed that is important to you on environmental science, YouTube videos, if I know that's a good one, I will caution you want to go ahead and preview these before you put them in there. And then by me adding that video in, it's here for us to watch. I can also add those into the learning path anywhere I want or into the ebook. Then I also have some reflection post-learning assessments. So you have a lot of tools available to you. And that's just in one chapter. So those are available for each of the chapters that you have. Now over on the right, you're going to see these apps that I mentioned. So this is your full ebook. This is a search. This is a dictionary or glossary for your key terms. This is the read speaker. This is the full analytics of your course. So if we had students registered in the course, this would be where your grade book and other materials would be housed, so you could see that. Another neat component are the flashcards. So for chapter 2 here, I already have 70. And then if I want to go in and create my own card as the professor, I can do so with a text card or an image card, which may be very powerful for your course. A standard Webster's Dictionary, a notebook, the Applia app if you want to work on any of the homework problems or duplicate or do different assignments. The Study Hub is very interesting because that's where you can create a study guide for the students, or they can create their own. So if I'm going through here in chapter 3 as the professor and I want to highlight a few items, something that I think is important, I can go in here and whatever I highlight and have in orange automatically gets sent to that study hub for the student, and it marks the section like a bookmark. And then lastly, if there's any content that you want to upload, you can have that here. So this is a basic overview of MindTap. So let's go back to your instructor site. So again, I have my MindTap course. Now it's showing up here. I can also create the new course for your summer course. Here I have my test bank, which is an online test bank provided by Cengage, and then also a global environmental watch. The instructor companion site has some of your more traditional resources with the book. So you'll see here where you can choose which chapter, and then it'll have an animation library, a PowerPoint lecture, crosswords, flashcards, glossaries, a lot of additional student materials. A neat part as well is an instructor manual. So this instructor's manual basically gives you an outline of each one of the chapters, which is very neat. Let me bring that over and show it to you. So for instance, chapter 2, which I highlighted, here's the chapter outline, key concepts, key questions and case studies, and basically breaks down the whole chapter into those sections. Some teaching tips, key terms, term paper research topics, discussion topics, activities and projects. So a host of resources that you have available at your disposal. I hope that gets you started and gets you rolling, and I look forward to meeting you in person and helping you. Take care, Glenn.